Yellowstone has bulged as magma pocket swells. Some places saw the ground rise by 10 inches, experts report. Brian Handwork. For National Geographic News. Published January 19, 2011. Yellowstone National Park's supervolcano just took a deep breath, causing miles of ground to rise dramatically, scientists report. The simmering volcano has produced major eruptions, each 1,000 times more powerful than Mount St. Helens' 1980 eruption 3 times in the past 2.1 million years. Yellowstone's caldera, which covers a 25 by 37 mile 40 by 60 kilometer swath of Wyoming, is an ancient crater formed after the last big blast, some 640,000 years ago. See When Yellowstone Explodes, in National Geographic magazine. Since then, about 30 smaller eruptions, including one as recent as 70,000 years ago, have filled the caldera with lava and ash, producing the relatively flat landscape we see today. But beginning in 2004, scientists saw the ground above the caldera rise upward at rates as high as 2.8 inches 7 centimeters a year. Related, Yellowstone is rising on swollen supervolcano. The rate slowed between 2007 and 2010 to a centimeter a year or less. Still, since the start of the swelling, ground levels over the volcano have been raised by as much as 10 inches 25 centimeters in places. It's an extraordinary uplift, because it covers such a large area and the rates are so high, said the University of Utah's Bob Smith, a longtime expert in Yellowstone's volcanism. Scientists think a swelling magma reservoir 4 to 6 miles 7 to 10 kilometers below the surface is driving the uplift. Fortunately, the surge doesn't seem to herald an imminent catastrophe, Smith said. Related, under Yellowstone, magma pocket 20% larger than thought. At the beginning we were concerned it could be leading up to an eruption, said Smith, who co-authored a paper on the surge published in the December 3, 2010, edition of Geophysical Research Letters. But once we saw the magma was at a depth of 10 kilometers, we weren't so concerned. If it had been at depths of 2 or 3 kilometers 1 or 2 miles, we'd have been a lot more concerned. Studies of the surge, he added, may offer valuable clues about what's going on in the volcano's subterranean plumbing, which may eventually help scientists predict when Yellowstone's next volcanic burp will break out.
Yellowstone National Park is huge, encompassing 2 million acres. In 1872, Congress made it the world's first national park. It is hidden within one of the most remote places in the lower 48. It's bigger than Rhode Island and Delaware combined. Right here, no road in any direction for 22 miles. A canyon 20 miles long. 17 rivers dissect the wilderness. Sweeping grasslands, more than enough to sustain Yellowstone's 4,000 bison. Yet, for all you can see, the real story behind Yellowstone is in what you can't see. Here, just underground, lies one of the world's largest volcanoes. It reveals itself at the surface in menacing ways, with mud pots that belch toxic gas and fumaroles that hiss with acid vapor, superheated pools of water, steam vents, and geysers attract some 3 million tourists a year. Few understand that Old Faithful won't be faithful forever. And one day, the volcano below may erupt. Underneath Yellowstone's surface, just 4 miles down, is a massive cauldron of magma. Its total volume enough to fill more than 3 Lake Michigans. It's been 640,000 years since it last erupted, and no one knows if or when it will explode again. Yellowstone is also home to 70 species of mammal. Elk and bison are just 2 of them. And Yellowstone is home to one of the greatest wildlife reintroduction success stories, the gray wolf. Wolves here were wiped out in the 1940s under an old predator eradication program. They were reintroduced in 1995. And the wolves have an influence on Yellowstone's elk and bison populations. By preying on elk and bison, they keep the populations of these herbivores at a stable level, which in turn helps keep Yellowstone ecosystems healthy. Life continues on Yellowstone's surface, and the molten earth beneath seemingly moves with a life of its own. And present-day visitors can witness the geologic splendor of its changes.